Hello Glamours and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell for more upcoming DIY future videos. Earlier this week, I asked all my social media followers what would I be doing for my next DIY project with Bling wrap, and this is what viewers had to say. So for DIY project number 1, I'll be starting off with strong poster board from Walmart. Next, I'll be drawing and cutting 3 different sizes of flower petals. I really didn't have any flower petals in mind, so I just drew what came to mind. I'll have a complete list of all items used in the description bar below. And here's the size chart of all 3 different sizes. And don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms for upcoming DIYs and giveaways. For this DIY, I'll be using strong foam board. I needed an 8-inch round cutout, so I'll be using this mirror frame to trace and cut. Next, I needed a 5-inch circle in the center, so I'll be using this 5-inch mirror to draw a circle. This will be my focus area when applying the flower petals. Once I was done, I took all my pieces to a well-ventilated area and spray painted them metallic silver. Next, I'll be covering all my flower petals with Bling wrap. To add some dimension to all the flower petals, I'll be curving the ends with using a marker. For the remainder of this DIY, I'll be using my strongest glue sticks. Next, I'll be gluing on the Bling wrap, and then I'll be cutting it to shape the flower petal. Once I was done, I'll start gluing them on a skewer and keeping the shape of the curve. Next, I'll start gluing on the large flower petals around the 5-inch circle, and I'll be cutting the skewer as I go using a dog nail trimmer. For the mediums and smalls, I'll be curving the ends up. Next, I'll repeat the same steps with the gluing and cutting. And this time I'll start gluing them in between the spaces, and I'll repeat the same steps with the smaller petals. Next, I'll use this 5-inch round styrofoam and I'll glue it in the center to add height when I glue on the mirror. I'll glue on this 5-inch round mirror that I spray painted the frame metallic silver. Next, I'll cut a single strip of this Mosaic mirror sticker, and these are self-adhesive, but I'll be using hot glue to hold it in place for a longer hold. Next, I'll be using these metallic silver dessert spoons and I'll snap off the head and then I'll start gluing them around the mirror frame. Next, I use duct tape to tape on 2 fairy lights around the back side of the frame. I took a large paper clip, shaped it into a pyramid, glued it in place, and I'll use this to hang it on the wall. And for DIY project number 2, I'll start off with a half sheet of foam board, and I'll take my long ruler and I'll draw lines going down, taking my measurements, and then I'll cut it out using a box cutter. I cut out 3, and here's the size chart. Next, I use foam board and I cut 3 different size circles, and then I'll be placing them on top of the cutout, and I'll be placing them in a format that I desire. You may place these however you like. Once I was done, I'll trace my circles in place and I'll continue the same steps. Once I was satisfied with my placements, I'll use my X-Acto knife to cut them out. Once I was done, I'll use these wooden dowels and I'll glue them on the edges of each cutout, and then I'll start gluing my pieces together. Next, I'll glue 3 3-inch pointy dowels on the bottom side. I'll use this thick square styrofoam as my base, and I'll stick my lampshade on, and then I'll glue it in place. Next, I'll apply Elmer's glue all over, and this will help to protect the styrofoam and the foam board when it's time to spray paint so it will not melt. Once it was dry, I'll use this wooden plaque and I'll glue it on, and this I'll use for balancing. Next, I took it to a well-ventilated area and spray painted metallic silver. I'll be using these pre-cut skews that I have from a previous project, and I'll be cutting them into size that I need to fill in the shapes of the holes. I'll be using 3 different sizes of square mirrors, and I'll have these linked below with the sizes. I'll take one of each size and I'll add glue and glue it in the center, and I'll go according to the size of the cutout. Next, I'll glue double strips of mirror mosaic stickers on the edges. I also added Bling wrap around the square base. I used one remote touch light inside the lamp. And here's the finished look. I really do love the way both projects turned out. What I love the most is that it brings out that metal iron appearance. So for you Bling Queens and Kings, because now I do have a lot of Bling Kings subscribers, this is the way to go. This will glam up any room. And also keep in mind that if you have any room in your home that has a lot of sunlight or brightness, this will blind you with all the bling, because this camera is not doing it any justice with all the bling going on. And what can I say about the beautiful lighting? I think this speaks for itself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these 2 DIYs as much as I enjoy making them. Now don't forget, I post new DIY videos every week. Like and share with family and friends, and subscribe if you haven't. Comment if you wish. Turn on your notification bells for more upcoming future videos. I'll see you on my next DIY upload.